Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. We are just going to do a one-on-one interview around thoughts on professional learning in a rural setting
Mhm.
and looking at using flipped professional learning to support teacher practice in a rural setting. So I'm going to ask you some questions and feel free to answer them however you'd like, and we'll just go from there.
Okay.
All right. What did you like about flipped professional learning as compared to traditional conference style learning?
I like that we were able to prepare beforehand. We were able to look at videos and read articles and even um, review the book, the actual textbook or the actual author before we got together to discuss what was in it. And that was very helpful. And everybody could look at what their interest was. I thought that was very, made it more meaningful to each person, and they could come up with examples on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you feel your time was well spent having the flexibility to learn the material beforehand so that you were able to use face to face time to apply the knowledge you've learned?
Yes, very much. I think that that was very effective. And I think that everybody felt comfortable because they had the material that they wanted to speak about. They had made those connections prior, so it was easier to share with the group.
Did the material make sense while you were learning in the flipped learning situation?
Not at first.
Fair enough.
I had to figure out which ones went with which, and then it was like, oh, then yeah. Once I figured it out, it was not that hard. But it was more about learning the classroom piece, and because I hadn't done that, as except I think one other time, it was sent out by another professional. But once you figure out how to use that particular program, it was easy, right? And it took about, I don't know, 5 minutes. Nothing big. But yeah, then it was fine.
Okay. Was the facilitator helpful in the face to face professional learning to help apply the information you learned through flipped learning to your context?
Yes. Yes, facilitator was. No, it's very helpful um, when you're having those discussions to have someone just bring it all together, and that's very helpful. Or to ask one more question. Yeah.
Have your thoughts changed around your preferred format for professional learning?
Uh, I like this flipped learning situation. Probably, though, the most powerful professional learning I've had is to actually go in and see how the theory is applied. So that I like this way, but I really do like to watch teachers in action. I think that's my most that I get the most learning from it myself. Yeah.
Have any barriers been alleviated by using flip model for professional learning? Why or why not?
I can see us using that as a staff. I think that the barrier that we always have is time. So that time that we spend together is very precious. So if we can do a lot of the prep individually and be able to come together with that information to apply it, that will be really powerful for us.
If you could design the ideal professional learning experience, what would it look like?
I think I would use this type of a model where they would be looking at material ahead of time, then maybe going to see how a teacher applies that, and then having some time to debrief on the whole thing and bring it together for their own learning. I think that would really be powerful.
What was your preferred format for professional learning before participating in this research?
Well, as I said, it's more the face to face works really well. I don't mind conference style though. Like if you go as a group, we were talking about that. So you have, your whole team going together. That really can move teachers a long ways, and just the type of conversations that you have and the connections that you make, that makes it powerful as well. I really don't see a downside to any professional learning. I like them all, but I like how this flipped one really made it so that you could digest the biggest pieces of information on your own, then come together. I really liked how that worked.
So, thoughts around your preferred format of professional learning? Have they changed?
Would probably I think that I've just added one, basically. I think that I've never really had that type of flipped learning before. And I think that it was powerful and useful.
How have you typically applied your professional learning in your teaching practice over the last 2 years?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Okay.
In some way. The professional learning that we've done around collaboration, I do that every day with teams that we have of teachers working together in our collaborative. That's what they are, collaborative teams, talking about what kids need. And we do use all of the literacy learning that we've done to this point. That's done every day.
Were you able to effectively apply the professional learning new knowledge and skills during the research?
Yes, on our next PD day, we did that, and I shared a lot of that with our staff. And it was very powerful because teachers came away using some of the materials right away and made literacy profiles for students, which was not really the intent of the materials, but they just took it farther. It was supposed to be about their literacy learning profile, whereas they made it about students, which is very powerful learning.
Did you acquire the intended knowledge or skill from the flipped professional learning opportunity?
I believe I did, and I believe that I gained a lot from my colleagues that were there, and I hope I contributed some for them.
What was the most beneficial aspect of flipped professional learning?
Being able to share that professional learning afterwards, I think was probably the most benefit that we got. Being able to share that, Christy and I were able to share it with our staff so readily. I think that was really good.
Were you able to effectively apply the professional learning new skills and knowledge?
Yes, we did. Different teams did different things with it, but for the most part, all of them understood that the teacher is the one that's the most important in the classroom as far as getting kids to learn things. It's us that provide those learning opportunities and how that's done. Yeah, no, I thought it was very, very helpful, and I hope to use this at some other point.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kim.